866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an AMP2.TV production. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Amp2.tv presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on amp2.tv. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Welcome to Tell Us Your Business. My name is Tom Hibbert. I am your host today. We have a fantastic show. I have David Nakava from SoFlo Mixers, and I have Cled Oakley from Ames Marketing System. Going to be talking about their businesses here today. Before we begin, I want everybody to know exactly what we're trying to do, what we're trying to get accomplished with this show. We're with SoFlo Mixers. Well, we are trying to get with business owners, give them a product to be able to get their name out there and let them know who we are, who they are, what they do, and really build their business. That's the whole purpose of it. So I want everybody to know my email address. It's SoFlo Mixers. That's SoFlo Mixers @gmail.com. That's SoFloMixers@gmail.com. You can contact me directly if you have any questions about that. And coming up this Monday on April 9th, we have a business power referral networking event that is at Ouzo Bay in Meisner Park. It's a power referral networking event in Ouzo Bay. It's fantastic. You can see everything on our Facebook page. Just go on Facebook and type in SoFlo Mixers, and you'll see everything that we have about our event. So that's what we have going on today. My first guest today is David Nakava. He's my partner with SoFlo Mixers. How you doing today, David?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here, Tom. Thanks so much for having us.
No, it's fantastic. Thank you for coming on. And when me and you got together, I really loved your philosophy in business, and we kind of adapted that to SoFlo. Can you explain a little bit about your philosophy in business?
Absolutely. So it's funny. I was just over at Saltwater Brewery. I was telling you before we went on air.
Yeah.
I was just over there, and I attended one of your speed networking events. And speed networking was really cool, and it was something that I never really experienced, but I was always kind of curious about. And I went over, and I thought it was a really great concept, and I was bouncing around every 2 minutes. You had it really well coordinated. We rang the bell at 2 minutes, had a conversation with somebody, jumped over to another seat at the table and had another conversation with people. And at the end of the night, I met a lot of great people, but I didn't really get a chance to dive deep into conversation with them. And I felt like it was like a little bit limiting. And so, you know, that spawned me reaching out to you and us kind of sitting down and talking with each other and seeing how we could come up with something together that would be more suitable for not only us but for everybody else. And
something that you can really drive real relationships with.
Right. So we actually, just for the audience, just so you guys know, we recreated another speed networking event, and we went on a bigger scale, and it actually turned out to be a little bit problematic for us because we had too many people, which from a networking standpoint, that's kind of a good thing. But
it's also a bad thing.
It was a little bit of a bad thing because people, the amount of people that came to attend the event and patronize the event and participate in the event was, there were so many people there that it just got so noisy, and it was just too quick for everybody. So after brainstorming with you, Tom, and with a couple of other people that I had met through some personal development workshops, we really just wanted to create an experience for people to really be able to develop those a really good bond and rapport with the other attendees, and also develop that cross-referral alliance relationship with one another at the table. So a lot of brainstorming back and forth. Initially, we called it integrity-driven networking because we wanted to kind of come from that place where people were authentic and sincere with each other and took the time to get to know one another instead of this situation of like, oh, here's my business card, call me if you need me, or I sell XYZ widget.
Well, that's a very good point there. One of the biggest things that most people are doing, and they go to these networking events, they just pass out their business cards, and they think people are going to call them 100 times without actually putting any real effort into it.
Right.
So one of the reasons why I want you on, why I can't have you come on here today, is explain a little bit about what people like. How can people maximize their time at networking events? What are some good practices? Let's start off with some bad practices that we see every day. What's some bad things that we see at networking events that everybody does?
Well, I don't really try to focus on those things. I think that if people do the status quo, actually, I do know of some of my little gripes. I've gone to a few events and people just walk right up and they go, "Hi, what do you do?" And it's just such an off-putting question. It's just a really off-putting question. And it just puts people on the spot. A lot of people are very timid when it comes to networking. So as a practice, it's just probably not something smart to say. So I try to avoid that. And I think a good practice in networking is really just trying to develop a sincere relationship and just come from a place of being a human being. There's no reason to be very formal or very rigid when it comes to explaining to other people what your business is. People, like you say it all the time, people do business with others that they know, like, and trust. If you walk up to somebody anywhere, I don't care if it's at a party or a networking event, and you're really short and to the point, and you're kind of just like, "Hi, what do you do?" It's like an attack almost.
Well, either that or you become forgettable.
Right.
It's you're either in a bad set of mind with that, or
right.
you're forgotten the second you walk away, because there's no real reason for me to remember you.
Sure.
Does that make sense? It's one of the biggest things that I have. One thing that I think that happens the most is people, either they tell you they're going to follow up with you, or they tell you they're like, "Oh man, we're going to talk on the phone. Let's set up a phone meeting," and then all of a sudden that meeting comes by, that day comes by, and
no phone meeting,
no what's called. Or my favorite is I've actually gotten people on the phone before. "Why are you calling me? Why are you doing this?" And you're like,
"Oh, right." Well, yeah. So I mean, people exchange, networking. We do networking. We love networking because I really believe that it is the last frontier of marketing. Digital media is so saturated. Every medium is so saturated right now that people have to go back to getting out, looking at other people eyeball to eyeball and shaking hands with them so that they can understand who they are as a person, why they're doing what they're doing, and how understanding how that individual can be of a resource to them, or they can help them out.
No, that's what it's all about, really.
Right.
That's all what networking is about. It's not so much of walking into a room and thinking you're going to get 10 sales and stuff like that. It doesn't really happen.
Sure.
But it's about the relationships that you're building.
Exactly.
And grow from there. I mean, me and you, we met at one of my events, and we built a relationship, and we grew SoFlo Mixers out of that.
Right. Yeah. And I had the great fortune of meeting this this kind of hero of mine, this author and speaker and trainer. He became a personal friend, and he came down and he spoke at one of our events. His name is Bob Berg. He wrote a book called The Go-Giver, and he had some really great questions in his little keynote speech that he did for us when he came down to speak. And he suggested asking some questions like, so how'd you get started doing what you're doing? What do you enjoy most about what you do? If I'm talking to someone else, how do I recognize that they're a good candidate for you? Because I'm coming from a place of I want to help you. I want to recognize people in the world that I could identify and send to you. And if I am able to do that and I can send you resources, you're going to know me, you're going to like me, you're going to trust me, and then we're going to have a two-way street of a relationship when it comes to doing business. And it doesn't matter what business it is, we can always find a way to send business to each other. So I like those types of questions. I like not being very short and status quo and stereotypical when it comes to networking and the style of it. And I really come from a place of being a go-giver, being somebody that is focused on being a source of contribution to the other person. And I think that philosophy just goes a long way. So we created this power referral networking event. This platform is really, really unique. And I think that's why we ended up on the radio because people are loving it. They are just going bananas and pajamas about this, because what we do is we gather small groups in a large setting, right? So we have this big, beautiful private dining room in Ouzo Bay down in Meisner Park.
It's absolutely beautiful.
It's just this gorgeous restaurant. It's in a gorgeous area. And we have this large dining room, and we have multiple round tables where we seat people about somewhere between 4 and 6, sometimes 8, depending on how many people are attending. We set people up in these small groups, and it is a timed an instructor-led Q&A session that we guide people through. So if you're somebody that's timid when it comes to networking, if you've never been out to a networking event and you've thought about it and you just haven't done it before, we built this experience for just that type of person. So you can come in, you can sit down. We have people mingle a little bit beforehand, and then when we sit down, we start the clock. We explain how the process is going to work, and we start with questions. We time the experience of having just a Q&A experience, a dialogue with the other attendees at the table. And all of those questions, as we go through that, maybe 5 or 6 questions for about 30 minutes, as we go through that, those questions are really designed to break the ice, for people to get to know a little bit about who you are, why you started doing what you're doing, what your challenges are right now in your current business, how they could be a resource to you in helping you further that endeavor.
Well, not only that, but one of the things that we found at our events are people are able to take, we talk about breakdowns of in their business and stuff like that, and people have given advice on different things of different ways to combat, because most business owners go through similar issues.
Sure.
And when you go ahead and you're actually talking to people, and when you're actually going ahead and making those connections, people want to help you because you're helping them. And I found many times where people were giving advice on how to avoid this or how to correct that.
Sure.
Just small things.
And you touched on an important point there, because what I've learned is that the human brain is reciprocal. If I ask you, "Hey Tom, what do you do?" you'll give me that response, and then in turn, in like kind, you'll ask me the same question back. So if I want to get you to ask me what it is that I do for a living because I want to explain my pitch, I will ask you what you do, and I know that inherently that question will come back to me. So it's the same thing. If I'm seeking help from someone, I will give help first. And giving first is a great philosophy. That's our philosophy, and it's proven to be very, very successful for us.
And it's been our philosophy, not just in SoFlo, but our own individual businesses as well. And it's something that it seems like it just comes back more than what you give out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that there are so many brilliant, experienced, intelligent kind, amazing people that come to our events. And there is no way possible in the world that either one of us can garner as much collective experience and knowledge that those people have all together. So what we do is we leverage that amazingness, all that experience, all that intelligence from the room by getting people to ask one another. And it's amazing the ideas and the resources and just the creations and the possibilities that come out of that because of all these incredible people that are there. So we have magic happen.
Well, real quick, I want you to go ahead. I explained a little bit before you came on about our event. Just take a minute or so to explain who we are and when that event is.
Okay.
Well,
so,
actually, what we'll do is I'll explain a little bit about that. Right now, we need to go to a break. So thank you very much, David, for showing up and coming on today. And
my pleasure.
And we'll be right back.
All right.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV.
You are listening to Tell Us Your Business, where our invited guests share all the knowledge of their business and how important it is what they do in our community. If you want to be part of the conversation, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and tell us what's on your mind. Now, back to Tell Us Your Business.
Welcome back to Tell Us Your Biz. My name is Tom Hibbert. I'm your host. Once again, if you guys had any questions or want to know more about the show or be a part of the show, you can go ahead and email me at SoFloMixers@gmail.com. That's SoFlo, SoFlo, Mixers@gmail.com. My next guest I have is Cled Oakley. He's here from Ames Marketing Systems. I want to just welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. Thanks for having me today. It's a pleasure.
Perfect. Cled, why don't you go ahead and explain a little bit about how long you've been in the business and what really got you into marketing? Because it seems like a very popular profession.
Everyone's tired of doing what they were doing, so they get into marketing, and it seems pretty simple. I was in insurance for 26 years and did sales and marketing and training for my agents, and started selling an app about 3 or 4 years ago, and as a way to get to see business owners on a friendly basis, help them to get more customers and clients, and then I could help them with their 401ks and their pension plans and group insurance. Well, that got to be so much fun that
you just wanted to make that a thing.
The tail started wagging the dog, and I got to stay home with my family at the night instead of sitting at other people's kitchen tables. And so then we got into smart Wi-Fi hotspots, which are very good for brick-and-mortar establishments, restaurants, nightclubs, bars, car washes, anywhere people hang out for more than 10 minutes waiting for entrance or service.
Why don't you go a little bit into detail, like for that Wi-Fi thing? What exactly is the Wi-Fi hotspots?
Oh, Wi-Fi hotspot. Well, most businesses and restaurants now have Wi-Fi. They have to have it because people get bored and they want to go where they can be on their phones and talk to their friends instead of their family while they're waiting for service. What ours does, and then you have to ask, what's the password? And I've had a couple drinks and I can't figure out what this is. My fingers are too big. And it's a hassle. And then the waitresses have to be bothering with you instead of taking care of other customers. So my system, Tom, enables people when they click on, like Benny's on the Beach, free Wi-Fi, or soon Brooklyn Cafe, free Wi-Fi, then they can click in on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or I don't want my wife to know where I am. And when they do that, Facebook, for example, It posts on their Facebook page, hey, I'm over here at Brooklyn Cafe. Come join me. Click here for a free beer, buy one, get one, or whatever. And that way all their friends see it. The average Facebook person has 338 Facebook friends. Now, none of them will help you move, but you can share pictures and whatnot with them.
No, it's fantastic. And I mean, obviously you've been in for a while, and one of the biggest things that I want to do is I want to give people a little bit of help, a little bit of tips. What is some things that people do in marketing that is some, like, just the don'ts that people always do?
The don'ts that people always do. That would be shotgunning.
What's that? Explain that to me.
Well, people want to advertise, but they advertise to everybody instead of to their market. So the first thing a business owner has to do, or an entrepreneur, is say, who is my target market? Who is my ideal client? And focus on reaching those clients, those prospects, and bringing them in to his website or his physical location.
Well, wouldn't I? How would I know who my target market is, or how would I be able to focus in on that target market? Wouldn't it be better just to throw it out to everybody, and my target market is bound to hear it?
Well, if you're running a magazine or print ads, that pretty much goes to everybody. And it gets expensive. And you have to figure out where the target market is of the people who are your advertisers. So if I've got a restaurant, for example, Garappo's Cuban, which is over on Congress and Gateway, great guy, then I want to know who my target market is. Who's going to eat my food? What age group? What income group? Then I want to find out where these people are and send my message to those people and not waste my money sending printed material or airspace to people who are not my clients.
So the biggest reason why you wouldn't want to do the shotgunning and just sending it out to everybody is because you wouldn't be able to stay in business because you couldn't afford it.
Right. You can print up thousands of coupons using Steve Prints, but if you pass those out to everybody, a lot of those end up in the landfills, and you only get a certain percentage return. If you put those to where your target market hangs out, and that's with my my geofencing and geolocation program system. If you know who your target market is and where they hang out, then I can put your interactive ad on their phones where they look 150 times a day. And they'll see your ad 4 or 5 times a day for up to a month. And it's interactive, which means eventually they'll register after the 20th time and say, hey, I need Southern Sky Paints, or I need Kilwin's Chocolate. I want that now, or I need my car repaired, so I'm going to go to F1 Auto. And so they click on that, and boom, they go to the landing page. Now they see everything that my client, you, my business client, wants the public to see about how you can help them solve their problem. Because everybody out there, Tom, has a problem. And in a group, there are people who can solve just about everybody's problem. So my client is a problem solver, and I help them reach the people that need their help.
And it's able to reach to the right person, the right market, and you're not breaking your bank, which is really, really important, obviously, especially when you're starting out. When you're starting out, you need to let your message go out 20 times, 30 times before people actually recognize that you're actually a business.
That's true.
I mean, we've had that a few times in general that people go ahead and they go to one networking event or they go to one meeting or something like that. They hand out their business card once, and they think that all of a sudden, oh, I'm gonna get 20 phone calls today.
Sure. And to that end, I was listening to Dave. He's a great guy. I know him personally from your events. I meet a lot of great people at your events, SoFlo Mixers. A lot of people who go to these network meetings, they don't have a lot of budget to advertise. I mean, when we advertise in the Savings Guide magazine, you get a sixth of a page for $285, $295, and a lot of people just don't have that. And when you look into the geolocation and digital marketing, it's even higher, because even though it's only a penny an ad or impression, there's a minimum order of 100,000. So what I've done, been going to these network marketing meetings, is put together a deal, a package, where they can all advertise. This is page 9 in the Lake Worth issue. They can all work together cooperatively, this bottom half here, and through the power of cooperative advertising, they can all get in for a fraction.
It's huge.
Like this size here where we see TJ, Vector Security, $150. And that gets him exposure in the magazine to 40,000 verified addresses in the upscale neighborhoods. These are people who want and can afford his services, as well as 100,000 impressions on people's phones in the target market areas.
Well, why don't you go ahead and tell us real quick how people can find out how to get a hold of you, where can they find more information, that kind of thing.
That's good. The quickest way to do that is to text me, send a text to CLED, that's my name, C-L-E-D, Charlie Lima Echo Delta, and send that text to the number 80800. That's my short code. 80800 is the number, CLED is the message. Text that and you'll get my virtual business card, which has videos, PowerPoint presentations, and up in the top right-hand corner is a menu where you've got basically my whole website right there in your hand on your phone.
So we're going to see everything by texting CLED, C-L-E-D, to 80800?
Yes.
Perfect.
And another great way is to come to Ouzo Bay every other Monday and to the Olive Garden in Boynton.
Yeah, no, and that's great. I was going to mention that right before we left here. We are going to be SoFlo Mixers is going to be hosting a business networking event. It's called Power Referral Networking. It's on April 9th. It's at 11:30 to 1:30, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. It's at Ouzo Bay in Meisner Park. You can check that out on Facebook. Just search SoFlo Mixers, SoFlo Mixers. And you'll be able to find our Facebook page, and you'll find the events all right there. Yeah. So it's a big event. It's a great way. I mean, that's how I met you.
Yeah.
That's how I met a lot of my business contacts, and it's really a big thing that people need to be a part of.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
I mean, it's huge on how powerful that is to really bring to businesses. How many clients do you find at networking events?
Well, just this past Monday, not yesterday, but the one before, the first time I went to Ouzo Bay, just talking to people, and you've got a really great format which digs deep into common goals, common difficulties, and challenges. I got 3 new clients just from that one meeting there. So I love it, and I recommend all my people to go there. Additionally, I know that not everybody listening to the show is in business. A lot of people are 70% demographic are females. I like to make this program of mine available to as many businesses as possible. So if you or any of your audience know of any business owners or own a business, have them call you at the show or me.
Or text CLED to CLED to 80800.
Yeah. And I pay a very good bird dog fee, and we're always looking for talented salesmen, full or part-time.
Perfect. I love that. I want to thank you very much, CLED, for coming on the show with me today. Just talking a little bit about marketing. I appreciate that. And I hope to see you again.
You definitely will. I'll see you Monday.
Once again, guys, we're going to be here next week, 7:30. This is Tell Us Your Business. My name's Tom Hibbert, and it's great being there with you. See you next week.
Thanks very much.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an amp2.tv production. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly